You shouldn't want the free model as a business owner. You should understand that you should be working with people that bring value to your team, and you should pay for that value.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
You need a donut?
Nah, I'm good. I'm all right. Welcome to another episode of No Followers Podcast. I'm T. This is Bob. And today we are talking about something that you may come across in your product development journey, especially for idea inventors or startups or founders. And this might be something people are against, but I'm going to argue why you shouldn't want free prototyping.
So do I have to argue from the other side?
Sure,
Because
if you want to.
I'm going to sum up this podcast in 3 seconds. Free, no good.
There you go. All right.
There we go.
It's good to see everybody. We'll see
Yeah,
you
it
next
was
time.
good times.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's I sometimes get the attitude from people that they're like, you know, you have a shop, you can make this thing for me. Why not just help me and do it? Other than the fact that I could fill up 80 hours a week of just helping people develop their product. It doesn't do you any favors in the long run. If you are going to turn your product into an actual business, you need to understand your cost structure. I've said on here a bunch of times before, your prototype is usually going to be anywhere from 2 to 10 times as much as your actual cost of production. Your prototype should be more expensive. It involves development. Development is expensive. It involves design, bill of material development, print generation, means and methods of manufacturing. All that stuff is an upfront cost that, you know, down the line goes away and gets cheaper.
But let's go back to why they even think it should be free is because they've been sold a lot of garbage in the media and from other programs that aren't technically free, but it's free to them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know how anyone has the unmitigated gall to tell someone they should get free. Definitely hard good prototyping, definitely design help.
Yeah, but we're even getting at the incubator. They think the incubator should be free.
Yeah, I mean,
because other incubators are free.
Well, it's free to them, but it's not free. Like those salaries are still paid by somebody.
Yeah, usually tax dollars.
Yeah. You know, but like I was saying, like if you don't understand what it costs to develop a product, and this is something I've been getting a lot of pushback on recently because people have been saying I'm very negative. I think I'm realistic. I know how much I've spent on my own product development. I know how much I've charged customers for basic product development. It's an expensive endeavor. Are there ways to lessen the cost? Sure. Can you spread the cost out over time? Sure. But if it's free, let's say you develop product A, and I go, you know what? I'm going to do it for you for nothing. And I use my time and materials and equipment and wear and tear on my equipment, and I shoulder all that cost. And you go to market, and then you go, you know what? We realized we have to tweak this, right? Iterative design. You come back to the table, you get market feedback, you want to change it. You don't understand how much each of those design changes cost because you don't understand how much the first one cost because you got it for free.
Yeah, but even if you gave them what you do with a lot of clients is give them time and material so they have a hard number. The reality is, do you really think you're going to run a business for free? Right. And where is your commitment? I mean, my thing with free, and I've said this for years, I don't like free because where's the shared risk? We don't mind offsetting stuff. We're not taking all the risk. And this is my answer to a lot of people every day. If I have to pay for all of it, I don't need you.
Right.
So where is the partnership? Where is kind of learning as we go? Because if you're not paying anything, then changes are whatever I need instead of like, we're going to sit down later and do a strategy session, figure out how do we allocate resources to keep this going? Not the podcast, but the incubator and everything. Like those are real decisions business people and inventors make every day. Like I can't do it all. I don't have all the money in the world in my pocket.
Yeah.
So it just makes no sense to me why, and we keep getting this on both sides.
Well, that's the thing is I think like some people are going to listen to this and go, who would expect that? A lot of people.
Yes.
A lot of people expect
the majority of people reach out for free.
Right. This should be free and you should do it just out of the goodness of your heart. out of the goodness of our hearts, we discount a lot of stuff down to make it reasonable. But me doing it out of the goodness of my heart doesn't keep my lights on. It doesn't keep my machines running. It doesn't replace my tooling when it breaks. These are all hard, good costs that, while it seems free to you, everything that we use
free
to do it, the subscription to the CAD software, the computer that I run the CAD on, all that stuff, I pay for all that stuff. Now, you as the inventor or founder have the option to do what I did. You can go open your own shop, learn CAD, learn machining, learn fabrication, learn design, learn how to prototype, learn how to test, You can do all that. It's taken me 15 years to learn that. That's what you're paying for. You're paying for the fact that I already know how to do this and am equipped to do it, and you don't have to take 15 years.
But we
can do it in 2 months.
You're also paying to play, because partnerships are not based on one does all and the other one just sits there and reaps the rewards. And people who want that are a huge filter for me to like, I don't need you.
Yeah.
Or we don't need you, because we've had this conversation about people who want to come into the incubator. They're like, we want it all for free. And we're like, it's not worth it.
Yeah. I don't need to spend the amount of hours I'm going to spend to figure out how to make your product for free. I have my own products to develop. You know what I mean?
But also it's not empowering. It's not fulfilling. It's not pushing limits. Like, we push each other because we know we're trying to do something and we have this pie. And when the pie's gone, we're done.
Yeah.
If somebody's across the table taking it all, there's nothing to lose. They'll just go somewhere else.
And once again, like you said before, it's not a business model. Like a business model of, I get all my development done for free. Okay, so what's your cost structure and what are you going to sell it at? I mean, you have no understanding of that. Who are your vendors? What's your bill of materials? What's your supply chain? What's your shipping cost? You have no understanding of that. And a big thing of what we do talk about is when we work with clients, our job is to take something off your plate. I don't expect you to be the world's best developer, designer, or fabricator. That's what we bring to the table. So then we figure out, okay, what is the thing you should be working on? Should you be working on strategic partnerships? Should you be working on means and methods for how to launch it? Should you be working on marketing strategy? We come up with a total comprehensive plan to go to market. If you want to come here and go, this is my idea, make this cup, call me when it's done. I don't need you as a partner to figure out how to make this cup. I can figure out how to make this cup.
Well, it goes against our culture of team, right? Team isn't just like we're all kumbaya. It's we're pushing each other to do better, to think differently, to find answers that we never thought of individually, somewhere in the middle of the table, as we talk about. My biggest thing is, and we get it all the time, right? And people are going to be like, nobody asks for free. People literally ask for free every day.
Yep.
And it's friggin' annoying.
I'm always happy to kick ideas around with people, and you want to call me and pick my brain on this and that stuff. I'm always happy to do. But as soon as you go like, can you generate a print for me? Can you design this? Can you prototype it and see how it works? Well, now that's like going to your doctor and saying, can you just do this knee surgery for me? Well, yeah, I can do the knee surgery for you, but there's a process and a payment, and you should pay me for the skills and value that I bring to the table. If you're dealing with fabricators or designers or developers that don't bring value to your team, that's what you're saying. You're saying, I want you to do this thing, but I don't value you or your time or your material. And that's why I get cranky about it. Because I wouldn't go to my patent attorney and go, hey man, just write this patent for me and file it. Like I value him, his time, his expertise, his knowledge, and I pay him for that hourly, a big rate.
But I also
and that's what grinds my gears, Bob.
But I also think it's the difference between relationships in business and transactions. Most people are transactional. Like, I'm going to go to a free program, get what I can, and move on.
Yeah. But by the way, you're going to burn through 9 programs.
Oh, absolutely.
You're going to go through 9
Most
free
of them are
programs
redundant.
and get absolutely nowhere.
The biggest problem, though, is, and this goes to another episode because we get a lot of inbound, like, you make it sound so difficult. And we both get this individually. I actually read them. He just glances at them and throws them out.
It upsets me.
I know it upsets you. It is hard. So we want people that are fully committed. And if you're doing it for free, you can leave whenever you want. And we're stuck with the bills. And we've lived through this before. So this is not like T and Bob just being jackasses. We've had people come in here, use the system. We were trying to figure out our own system. And then like, I don't like what you designed.
Yeah.
And then walked away, and then their business never went anywhere.
Yeah. And like a lot of hours. And I mean, dollars aside, like real dollars out of pocket, but a lot of hours also back and forth in design and development and testing and getting feedback and doing all these things. The free model, just, you shouldn't want the free model as a business owner. You should understand that you should be working with people that bring value to your team, and you should pay for that value. Now I'm going to hit you with the doozy. What if I offer them equity? Okay, Bob?
You know my stance on equity.
What if I need design help, and I'm going to offer them equity?
Equity plus some cash. Write that down. Equity plus some cash.
That is the valuation of your business at idea stage. Well, it could be worth $100 million. It could be.
Well, technically that's not right. Because if they come to us and say, I'm going to give you equity for this idea, and you're going to take to MVP and some commercialization, there's value. So
Yeah.
we've already set a value for their market cap.
Yeah.
So that's really stupid too.
But
regardless.
you better hope that you never have to do another cap raise. Now, if you're talking about building out a team, right? I'm going to build out a team, and I'm going to get a designer, an engineer, a fabricator, blah, blah. That's a different discussion.
But there's still hard costs that have to be covered.
Well, that's what I was going to say, is that there's still a real discussion about who's going to cover these things. So we do have client partners that we work with. They always cover at bare minimum our hard costs, and then we take a share after that. Because if we met with every partner and worked with them for just equity, what happens when I have to replace my machine? What happens when I have to rig in a new machine? Who's paying for that? Your product is going to take years to get to market. That's a long runway.
Come on, T. It happens overnight.
You should want, if you want to build a team and you go, well, I want this teammate staying up overnight and working on the design and yada, yada, yada. You got to find someone that has the time. I can tell you, for me personally, I don't have the time.
That. Having time does not equate to value.
No,
there are people that have a lot of time on their hands and have no value to a situation.
Absolutely. I'm saying when you find someone that fits the bill, is qualified, can do all the things you need them to do.
You gonna write zero again?
I'm just saying like that, and I'm not trying to insult anyone. I've had people make me that offer, and my advice to them is always the same thing. You shouldn't be giving equity away at this stage. It's the same reason I never gave equity to engineers. I would rather pay the engineer. It's the same reason I don't give up equity for space. I would rather pay a lease. I will pay the lease. I will pay the insurance. Eventually, you run out of equity. You know what I mean? You run out of pieces of the pie to give away.
That's a whole other conversation, because people don't even understand equity. They don't understand value caps. They don't understand anything about that. And they read some friggin' stupid social media post and they're like, I'm going to go raise money. They have no clue what they're doing.
And let me say this too. Like let's play it out. You want to offer us equity to develop your product?
My answer is no.
And let's say we go, you know what? If you're at idea stage, you have an invalidated product. So you're guessing. You think this is your market. You think this is what you could sell it for. You think. So now we have to develop, test, validate, all the steps we do, right? So now let's say we're having a really good day and we go, you know what? Let's do it.
It's a lot of margaritas.
We're not taking 20% equity.
No.
To take your thing from idea to commercially viable. You're talking, the number in my head is at least 80%.
I was at 90.
You're talking 8, because we're doing all the work. So that is why very early stage, idea stage, all that stuff, if you're building a team of like-minded individuals, that's one thing. That's your core team. And I always break your team into multiple parts. There's your support network, there's your substantive network, and then there's your collaborative network, right? Your support network is your family, your friends that pick you up when you're down. Your substantive network are the people that are actually doing the work. Your collaborative network are your partners and people that you can partner with to push everything forward. I always break it into those tranches. If you're building your team and you're breaking up equity and doing it that way, that's fine. But you better make sure your partners are aligned with your mission, your vision, your time commitment. It's very difficult to find. We are a commercial design, development, fabrication shop. It's our bread and butter. It's what we do. Just doing that for equity is not a viable business model for us, because I could do that with 10 companies and fill 3 years worth of work and have no revenue coming in to keep the lights on and pay for the equipment.
Well, there's the reality that there is no guarantee, and we know that, and we jump frequently into the risk pool.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go back to the other side of this equation beside free, because we have people come here and say, I have a budget, but it's not a realistic budget.
Yeah.
And that's the other reality. We're always just trying to educate. You don't have to work with us. And I'm going to say, if you want free, don't even come here. Yeah. Like, it's not worth the conversation. Yeah. Go to a free program. And then 10 years from now, you'll come back and say, I had this idea 10 years ago. The market's already moved on.
Yeah.
So that's all. But if you have a budget, it has to be realistic for what you're going to get. Yeah. And if you don't know that, you should educate yourself first. Because we say numbers here and people are like, that's not true. And we're like, no, here it is. It's right here. So I do think there's a certain amount of research that should go in whatever stage you're at. Do a little deeper research, not just on target markets and customers. Do some research on actual cost.
And we're always happy to talk that through with people, but there's almost like people become indignant when we say what that cost is going to be. And like, we're doing it based on experience. I can tell you every dollar I've put into this endeavor, like, it's not a small number. But the other thing I wanted to say quickly too is when you talk about giving away equity and all that, every time you say that, I'm going to give up equity, there is an implied valuation. What is your valuation for your idea? And how are you coming up with that number? Because if you're serious, if you said to me, I want to offer you 25% to design and develop my product, what's your valuation that you're giving me 25%?
Well, you just set the valuation by your cost.
I know, but so if my cost is 10 grand,
you have $40,000
That's your valuation.
Yep, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
That's where they need to educate themselves more. I'm sorry. People come here and those are the conversations we have. What I don't like is you don't have to agree with us. You don't have to work with us. Don't disrespect us that we don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what I'm talking about, but
I
can put together a nice
nice
PowerPoint though.
Yeah, you have a nice PowerPoint.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. But I mean, it is, listen, I know this was spicy, but I don't
think it was that spicy.
We've been getting a lot of feedback that we're very negative, but this is the reality. These are the conversations we have of people going.
You've been getting feedback that you're very negative.
I have been getting feedback that I'm very negative. And I am very negative. And I will continue to be very negative. But I'm very good at what I do. And that's that, Bob.
New year, same tea. New Bob, though.
Hey, good for you, Bob.
I'm going to bring hard rolls, ketchup.
Don't bring them here.
Here next time.
Ketchup shouldn't go on eggs.
Oh my God, there's something wrong with you.
What are we, 12? You're trying to get eggs down
My maturity level might be less than 12.
Eggs.
I do like Fun Dip, by the way.
Ketchup.
So if you're going to send me any kind of influencer package, Fun Dip is always a good one.
I got no problem. It's just sugar. I got no problem.
What? With that. It is not just sugar.
Well, you get that little stick, that little chalk stick.
Love that stick.
All right, Bob. Thanks for
Tate.
listening to me rant. I'll see you next time.
Maybe I'll see you first.